Hello Ranger Nation! How are you guys doing? Happy Wednesday. Today it is comic book day, and even though this book is 2 weeks late, we're going to be going over this one. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 42. This guy is great. Tommy and Kim get some great interaction. We get some awesome stuff from the Omega Rangers. Breel, do you remember the name Breel? Back from Go-Go? Yeah, we're going to definitely tell you a lot about that. And Dayne, remember Dayne? The dog that's not Doggy Kruger that's trying to kill everyone? He comes back, so we're going to have a lot of fun today. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. So if you're just watching this today, it's posted. Yesterday's video was a little strange. It was about Power Ranger costumes and stuff at Walmart for Halloween. So thank you guys so much just for the views and the thumbs up. I know it wasn't necessarily what I normally post. It's just something that I do once a year around Halloween for people who are just interested in the costumes and what's the material like, what's it actually like, you know, hands-on. So thank you guys so much for giving a view or giving it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. It's something I hope helps other parents, basically, if you're trying to buy your kid a Halloween costume and just what to expect. So thank you very, very much for that. But we are going to be talking about the shiny one. Yes, it's always... I love the shine, but seriously, guys, they don't show up on camera, so we're just gonna get past the cover for that. Let's just get started at the beginning. It's your basic battle. Now, I'm not saying it's a crazy, but there is something different about this battle. In the beginning, we have Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, our Stone Canyon trio, and I'm just gonna give you the spoiler for the rest of the video here. I admittedly thought this issue, just due to the cover and everything, I thought it was gonna be more about them. Honestly, I really thought it was. It really wasn't. It was battle. I mean, it had everybody was in it. Obviously, the Omega Rangers a little more than others, but I was kind of expecting the Stone Canyon trio to be in it more than it was. I don't know. Hopefully, we get more stuff about them later. I think the longer they hold it off, the more I'm like, I really want it to be good, because they were pretty flat, you know. I don't feel like they really had a lot of stuff. A lot of personalization in Mighty Morphin, at least. More of the stuff you could say came in for Zeo or Turbo for some of the characters, so I'm really hoping they get something going for them really soon. Now they're doing their big battle, of course, but you have this overlay of text, obviously from someone who's just watching the battle, talking about, do we start with maybe the soldier who hates taking orders? That was Aisha. Or the follower who is always lost? That's Rocky. That was interesting. Or maybe the boy who's scared of his own shadow? Adam. Or so many options. We find out that this is Dayne, of course, watching them. He's been the one watching the Rangers, doing all of their surveillance cameras and stuff. I don't know how Zed worked that out, but he has video of all the stuff. So he's watching these guys, and here they go. They're fighting these different putties. They have like 4 legs and 4 arms. Really creepy. I kind of agree with Adam. If it has more than 4 legs, it just kind of creeps me out. Sorry, arachnids. It's just my personal preference. Less than 2 legs or more than 4 kind of creep me out. When Dayne is giving all of this information, though, the 3 Stone Canyon ones, he's like, okay, not really worried about them. Because remember, they're still very green at this point. But when it comes to Billy, Kim, and Tommy, he has something different to say. Pulling up the page here, for Billy, he's saying he's going to have a hard time finding something that you're not going to be able to see coming. Billy's so smart, so agile. Kim, again, very agile, awesome with her bow from long distances. He's like, okay, that bow and its range is going to be some issue. Then he talks about Tommy, and I gotta tell you exactly what he says, because this was one of those, yes, he found that out. But none of those matter, so none of the other 5 Rangers matter if it don't take care of you, meaning the White Ranger, Tommy Oliver. Quick, cunning, powerful. Thankfully, you're just a loner pretending to lead you, and that makes you the Ranger's greatest vulnerability. Flashing back to, in Go-Go, he left for a while. He was a loner, talking about going to his uncle's farm. The next thing that we're going to go to after this is going to be, well, actually, I'll go ahead and I'll just skip to the scene. It's Kim and Tommy. They're actually running. I don't know if you want to say it's like a date or whatever. He's the White Ranger at this point. He's wearing a lot of green, though, which I thought was kind of cool. Because, what do you do with all your green clothes? Like, other than just dumping bleach in them, right? Like, to turn them white again? So they're running. Where are they running? The Great Wall of China. I think is great. Tommy, I think he just wanted to do something different. It was a place he'd always wanted to go in his life. He said he'd often dreamed about, you know, sailing a boat just walking and going to a lot of different places, which leads, you know, Kim into asking him, you know, how long were you alone? Like, how long were you on your own trying to take care of yourself? And to that, he just answers, a while. Going back to Tommy, the loner who is the leader, but doesn't quite have all that leadership yet. And I think a lot of us can say, you know, once Tommy was the Red Ranger and Zeo and, you know, yada yada, and with the source footage finally, you know, matching up to everything, he really hit his stride. When he was the White Ranger, he was the leader, he was the de facto, everybody kind of went to him, but they were still having issues due to, you know, source footage. He wasn't always there. It's just interesting to see the way they can tie this into something as silly as oh, you know, well, they didn't have footage for that Ranger for that fight or whatever. It makes such a more compelling story like this. So that is what Kim and Tommy have been up to. So let's go ahead and catch up with our Rangers, our Omega Rangers, I'm sorry, in Safe Haven. There, remember when we last left our heroes, they are actually, they fought and they defeated a guy named Garrison Vox. Put him in a giant space dumpster, for lack of better words. It also looks like a trash can. That was kind of one of those things, like, whoa, okay, so they're zapping people and putting them into these space dumpsters. Fine, you know, Rita was in one too. But then when you have 11, not 9, because I'm really bad with Roman numerals, and thank you to everybody who pointed that out. I have a thing like with numbers and Roman numerals, and I'm not good with them. So sorry, they get really jumbled up in my brain. And thank you for you guys. As soon as someone was like, it's XI, like it's totally, I'm like, oh yeah. So sorry, numbers kind of get screwed up in my head, and so we're all settled. I'm pretty sure it's 11 now because it looks like X capital I. So I'm going with 11. Just feel free to correct me with whatever it is in the comments below. Continuing as I drop the comic. Okay, so the Rangers are in the middle of talking to Garrison Vox, and we're talking about when the grid shattered. Time and space were fragmented, lives were lost, but we fixed it. Now everything that we did will happen. So they're kind of fixing, but the big problem is nothing broken can ever be exactly as it was. There were cracks, and through the imperfections, the energy of the morphin grid seeped out and infected you. First time I feel like it maybe I've read it before, but the first time I guess it really affected me was hearing the infected. How they are talking about it. The morphin grid was seeped into you. You were infected by the morphin grid. Now, Garrison Vox obviously has a completely different outlook on this. He loves his powers. He loves what he was doing. And in fact, he calls himself blessed, right? So you have Kaya saying she's infected, that these, you know, kind of a curse. And the other guy who's out, of course, you know, like killing people or whatever and taking things in his own name, he's thinking it's a blessing. I mean, Garrison goes on to say, I know you're kind, flexing and fighting, all while saying you're the good guys, but in reality, I got a tiny taste of your power, and you don't like it. Now, that is an interesting thing. Kaya, again, infected with it, doesn't like the power. What is going on? Because she's, you know, helping innocent people. You know, she's helping save the morphing grid, reality, the universe, you know, however you want to say it. And so that really just sets you to like, ooh, okay, what's going on with that? Vox goes on to say, you know, I don't really give a crap about what you're doing, but now you're scared because you know the people are out there that are bigger and badder than you, and they're going to come take your spot. You're going to be in yesterday's business and be completely out of it. And other people who are more bigger and badder are going to take away, which is a huge problem. And we've already been seeing this in the Rangers talking about these threat levels are rising. And we'll be talking about that a little bit more forward, but holy crap, I have been talking a lot just about the first 4 pages of the comic. Vox pretty much says, put me in your box, I will escape, and we're going to have a rematch. Ooh, I'm ready for that. Okay, now we got to talk about Kaya. And I'll be the first one to admit, I'm going to talk about this quickly because when I read it, it really affected me. As her brother would have been turning 4, my daughter's getting ready to turn 3. It affected me a lot, actually, reading this. So I will kind of keep it brief. But she says this really amazing thing about, you know, she's thinking about her brother and how the son was asleep, and he was like, wake up, son, wake up, son. Trini, you know, oh, how old is he? And she says that he would have been 4 this month. And that, you know, of course, just makes you go, oh, you know. Wasn't saying like, oh, he was the commander of an army. No, he would have been 4. And then you find out what happened. And it was Kaya, and you know why she hates her powers so much. With this, I was asleep at that moment that I became empowered. I woke up to the taste of copper, blood, and then 1,000 spider webs of electricity flew through me. I was connected to everything I touched, and I could feel building and building until everything turned to ash. When I came to, my family was gone. This is the just iteration of this. Her kind of exploding, and you know, and then she says in irony, and I was left with this blessing as a reminder that, you know, Garrison may love his powers, but after the grid shattered, I lost everything. And holy crap, Kaya, you know, I liked her before. I did. I thought she was fun. But this just sets that whole new precedent as to why she's fighting and why she doesn't like her powers. Why did Garrison Vox say, you know, you're afraid of all of this? Why was she calling it more of an infection? She lost her family because of it. And you have to think, if the Rangers, if becoming a Power Ranger, if Rita did attack or whatever, you know, Trini's family, Billy's family, I mean, well, like the Dramamole, of course, they put their parents to another dimension, but I mean, could you imagine if Rita killed Jason's parents? How would he feel about those powers? His powers would be to defend his family, but his family was targeted because of the powers. I know it's a different situation, but you'd have to think that Jason would feel differently about his powers, right? And knowing that that is where Kaya is coming from just completely, it just grounds her in a completely different way. Moving on to a little bit more stuff, we are back with 11 and Kaya and the Morphin Master, and they're talking about all of these new power levels, right? Like level 6. They're escalating, and this time 11's going on. I've had a difficult time isolating the target beyond the point of origin. They're getting harder to find as the rarer they get, which, I mean, obviously, common spawns, everybody can see, but you have to be a certain level, you know, to be able to read the scan. You have to be able to track things. You have to be able... No, am I getting into MMOs? Sorry. All I'm saying is sometimes you have to up your power scale to be able to see the power scale of another villain as somebody who's been level 15 being annihilated by things who are just X's and crossbones. They start talking about this power spike, and where does this power spike go? I know I rambled for a second. Brill. Okay, I don't actually have any comic books down here. Brill, do you remember Brill? You remember back when the Go-Go Power Rangers series, I kind of dropped it off, unfortunately, you know, around issue 16 or 17, but they were in Brill. Big thing about Rita Repulsa. I can't believe that name is coming back already. And so the Rangers are like, wait a second, what? Remember, it's Queen Adriel. Remember, Adriel from Rita, tried to double cross her and blah, blah, blah. Real quick though, the Morphin Master does mention, when they're like, oh, you've been in Brill before? They have. They arrived in a kaleidoscope of colors and left forever change. There you shared thoughts, minds, feelings, and mouths. Which I cracked up. And so Jason's like, what he's trying to say is we could read each other's minds. Which was true. I'll give you that. Zach, I never mentioned that. But right now, over at Brill, there are more than a dozen different spacecraft that have fallen into orbit. Atraxians, hydrocontaminators, the Machine Empire, the worst of the worst. The only one we actually know of that, I think, is the Machine Empire. But they were pretty bad. I mean, they made Zed run for his money in a Winnebago with Finster and Goldar. I mean, he technically loved Rita, but you know there wasn't any love lost for Goldar. Although, wait, was he with Bulk and Skull? Ooh, was he on the Winnebago at all, or did they go straight down to Bulk and Skull? Let me know in the comments, because I can't remember off the top of my head. These are the people that they're dealing with here. So so how are we going to do it? Is it an invasion? What's going on? I don't know, but they're having a gathering and you need to go down there. And so the Rangers get in their fancy attire, which immediately makes me go, Jason was dressed by Heckle. Yes. I love the coat with the tail thing. I really love it. So there we go. They basically go in, just be subtle, don't get into anywhere. No. They of course land and the first thing they find is a group of real soldiers who immediately go, what the crap are you doing here? Although they were actually a little nice. You know, we told you not to wander. Our planet is very dangerous. Why aren't you inside with everybody else? And then they, of course, are like, oh, we missed the entrance. Sorry. Ah, crap. You know who we are. Boom. Really fun thing in there, though, because I personally would not wear heels while I was trying to do something like this. Give me a good pair of flats or, like, some tennis shoes, something with a little bit of heel. Maybe boots. You know, the heel can give a little of, but I'm just saying I would not be wearing stilettos, and the girls are, and they're kicking butt. It kind of goes on to say, so you always wear spikes on your feet for formal occasions. Do you? Trinity goes on to say, oh yeah, the spikier the better. Maybe guys, I should start wearing stilettos just in case I get attacked by real soldiers. I can throat cut them with my foot. No. Although, if Pink Ranger Halloween costumes had anything to say, I would be wearing pink stilettos for everything. It is ridiculously not practical. Not practical at all. So they go ahead and they take out the soldiers and they go, and as they clearly say, we have to hide the bodies. So they go ahead and they get rid of that and they get in. And I mean, I'm not even going to name all of them here, but you guys can totally see there is a who's who of monsters, right? You know, Brill's handing out champagne or fake champagne, I don't know, or maybe they're probably all 21, I'm sure it's fine. But they're just saying their power output is off the scale. This level 6, remember, do not engage alone. Keep your eyes open for everything. So, of course, you know, like an alien comes up to Zach and starts talking to him. And he's like, I'm Taylor. Zach Taylor. Of course you are, Zach. He's luckily saved by Queen Adriel. Remember her? This is how she looks in this iteration of the book. And I welcome you all to Brielle. Of course, Trinity goes, hey, she's still alive. If she's really the Empower, things are going to get really complicated because she was already, remember, super duper strong, and having her be empowered would be really, really bad news. Good news, everyone? It's not good news. Spoiler, it's not her. It's worse. Oh, this is going to be great. They're screwed. Just wait till you read about this. Here she goes. Remember, Rita, oppression, whatever. Rita's gone, babies. Lord Zed is now empowered. So here we go. Queen Adriel, High Sovereign of the Kedri, I welcome you all to Brielle. From our very inception, my people have been slaves. First to the Brielle's original inhabitants, then to the vain ideologies as Rita Repulsa, and now to insignificance. With no one to lead over them, they have no purpose. You know, you all have waged war without us, but no longer. From this day forward. And so here's where you go. They're like, you know, we're going to help, we're going to take over. This guy right here, the gluttonousy jelly thingy going on, show us the weapon. We didn't come all the way here for speeches, slave queen. Oh! Alright, yeah, go ahead, kill him. That's fine. That's fine. If you want to join us, prove you can do what you claim. Wield this planet killer of yours. Otherwise, I'm going back to my ship. I'm pretty sure they said she has a Death Star. Oh, is that the wrong licensed property? No, Power Rangers. Okay, Power Rangers isn't owned by Disney anymore. Sorry. It's not a Death Star. This is freaking great. He's like, I'm going back to my ship. Ship? What ship would that be? The Altraxian? Smashes into oblivion. I gotta show you. I even have to make sure it focuses, guys. Just look at that. What ship would that be? It literally, the words they used on the comic illustration was kaboom. It's perfect. It's perfect. Adriel is not having this. So 11, what just happened? It felt like, he goes, that was a level 6 spike of Morphin energy. The Atraxian ship is gone. I don't know if Kaya can destroy a ship with one punch, although I was saying she was like One Punch Man. I don't know if she can destroy a ship in one punch. So then we get back to Queen Adriel saying, apparently there has been a misunderstanding. Did you believe that you're here so that I might ask permission to join you? I'm so sorry. It's quite the opposite, actually. You see, you're all here to pledge loyalty to me. That should totally be a screen grab for the thumbnail. We'll see if that happens. To me. Each of you will bend the knee, your worlds will swear allegiance, or none of you will leave this temple alive. Well, shit, son, she already destroyed one of the dude's ships. Now, I don't know what the recharge thing is. I mean, if it's like a massive world cooldown, I mean, this could be like a 30-minute respawn, okay? But I'm just saying, if she could just knock out all of their ships, they can't leave. Unless maybe you could teleport, you could have whatever, but most of them would be SOL, right? And now she's gonna be stuck, and we know Breel fighters can fight, like, right? Like, because we've learned that in Go-Go. Breel fighters are nothing to mess with. So you have all these Breel fighters. Queen Adrian's, like, she's going on them, and their ships basically are nada. Because they know if they get on them, they're gonna die. Okay. Okay, and in the midst of all of this, you know who's there? Our Heckle and fine-dressed, stiletto-studded heroes. The Power Rangers. And of course this includes, she goes, you're all here to pledge loyalty to me. Each of you will bend the knee or you won't leave that alive, ... And that includes the Power Rangers in attendance. Oh, she knows. She knows. And I mean, there's probably sentries walking around or whatever. So yeah. I mean, she probably knows. But here you go. She knows the Power Rangers are there. She knows she ain't gonna escape on a ship. Maybe the Rangers teleported and they could try to get out some other way. But I mean... Whew. Would it be easier? And this is just interesting thought, but I mean, do you leave all the villains there to just kind of kill each other off for a while and then slide back in to defeat them? I don't know. Not sure. We do meet back up with our heroes in Angel Grove, and I have to include this. I have to include this because I love Bulk and Skull. Bulk is getting fed up, I guess we should say, with it. He's like, her eyes are blue, Skull. They're just blue. It's fine. Going back to it, Billy finally appears in this a little bit, just saying, you know, the Omega guys, they don't know they're Omega guys, but, you know, they never even contacted me back about going to see them. And, of course, you know, if they're going mission, you know, back to back, it's going to be hard to get back a hold of them. And who knows even what the time zone difference is whenever they're in a different world. But beside all that, they still want to see each other. So Kim says, you know, I know, but maybe... it's just time we admit we're living on two totally different worlds now. There we go. Cut back in. Stone Canyon Trio finally up there. Rocky eating his burger. Blah, blah, blah. Tommy's going, the key is to always be ready no matter what, because you never know when Zed could strike again. And there's literally over his head like giant monster attacks, which are great. Because the Rangers are like, Tommy, monster, just, we're good, go. It's morphin' time! And of course they morph into the big ol' kaboom, full page morph. Usually we see closer to, you know, page 3 or 4. This is really fun though, all of them unmorphed. Kind of digging Tommy's hair in this one, honestly. But to see all of them as I drop my comic, I know every one of you who are comic collectors see me do this and you cry a little inside, and I'm sorry for that. They morph, we're not done. This is the last page though. They morph, and who do they run into? Remember the very beginning of this video, I know a long time ago, I mentioned Dayne. He's back, baby. You guys know me, I love when the Rangers are about ready to get the crap kicked out of them. I love it. I love when they're against the odds. I love when the crap's about ready to hit the fan. They, of course, see him. They make some dog jokes, blah, blah, blah. They try to fire the blasters at him. Completely doesn't work. So he goes to say, oh, micro-yield EMP. He made some EMPs back with Draken, too. Rangers, I should warn you, this isn't going to be a fair fight. Woo! So much to go over. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like this was a little long, and I'm kind of sorry for that. But even though you can't see it, this was the issue. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 42. Pink Ranger Hollow on the front. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. The Rangers are going back to real. You have Dayne trying to knock the other ones off on Earth. I still don't know what's going on with 11 or the Morphin Master. Kaya, I love her, and it makes me really, really sad at the same time. And I have a feeling we probably will see Garrison Rex again. Vox, not Rex. Vox. Whatever, he could be a T-Rex. I hope you guys have had a fantastic day, whatever day it is that you are watching it. And don't forget to catch me Friday on the Ranger Weekend Review. With any luck, I'm going to get a bonus video filmed for you guys Thursday since I didn't post on Monday. And remember, Power Rangers Beast Morphers this Saturday. Be ready. I'll be seeing you with reviews for those as well. Thank you all so much for staying to the end of the video. I love you all. Mwah! See you later, guys. Doodles! Comics!